welcome into this. Are we skipping a little bit up there? Yeah, I don't know.
A little worried about connection there all of a sudden.
Yeah, Tuesday edition, Oxford Exxon Podcast, Blue Sky Live, back with you this morning. Good? Continue?
That's where it's lit, right? The blue?
Yeah, that's correct. You guys hear us okay? Having a little bit of glitch on our screen. I don't know what your screen looks like. Hopefully it's
pretty glitchy as well.
Is it pretty glitchy as well?
Looking right at it.
Okay. So I don't know. All of our levels are pretty good. Anyway, welcome to the show. Maybe it'll fix itself in a second. We'll give it a second to see what goes on. If you're in the chat, just
my internet connection has not been awesome for the last 2 months.
So just check it around a little bit. Give us some comments. Let's make sure everything is going on. They say they hear us fine. It's just the video's a little choppy.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll proceed as we are going right now. We'll see how it levels out from here. So glitching sounds good. Well, I'd rather have the sound than the video. I mean, if I'm looking for a positive here on this Tuesday morning, that would be that. So for now, show will go on. Appreciate everybody back after Memorial Day weekend. Hope you had a nice weekend, a safe weekend there. Grind things at YouTube. Maybe it is. Yeah, because if the video was glitching, the sound would be messed up. It was strictly on our side. That is true. So as long as the sound is good, we'll see. Anyway, appreciate everybody. Again, we'll get into some stuff today. We got revenue share talk. We got SEC meetings. We got the business of college athletics coming up on the show today. There was an NCAA selection show for baseball yesterday. Obviously, Ole Miss not included, but 11 SEC teams were, including, let's see, 5 of the top 7 national seeds, if I have that correct. I do. Yeah, that's correct. 5 of the top 7 national seeds. Georgia was number 7.
Top 3, and then Arkansas was 5.
And Georgia was 7. Yeah, so 5 of the top 7 there. 11 get in. We'll hit that a little bit. Recap a little bit of Neal's trip. When are you and Siski going live again?
I don't know. He's out of town.
Yeah, I knew that.
And then I'm leaving town Thursday morning. So
got to reconnect somehow, some way.
Either today or tomorrow, I guess. Not today, I don't think. Maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know. He went to the lake.
Yeah, Two-Player Rep says he was watching a Cardinals live stream earlier, and they were choppy as well. So maybe there is a YouTube issue going on from a video standpoint. So anyway, show will go on here. That's kind of the topics for the day on the show, brought to you every day by Blue Sky locations throughout Mississippi, up and down I-55 throughout North Mississippi as well. Wherever you are, it's Blue Sky nearby for that. You've got lunch specials, $5.69, a couple sides bread, any size fountain drink for you. The Epicenter down in Macomb. Again, I was there a couple weeks ago for coming back from the Baton Rouge series. Subway attached to that. Sweet Daddy's locations throughout the state as well. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote. And the rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. The Campbell Clinic is in Oxford now, 2608 South Lamar Boulevard, Suite 102. Just across the street from the cottages at Hooper Hollow, the Campbell Clinic provides full-service orthopedic care. Everything from sports medicine to foot and ankle surgery to spine and total joint care, pediatric orthopedics, physical therapy, and more. To book an appointment, go to campbellclinicoxford.com or call 901-759-3111. Walk-ins always welcome at the Campbell Clinic, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. until 4 p.m.
Yeah, YouTube is telling us we have an excellent connection. It is literally using the word excellent.
Maybe it's an eCam thing.
The stream status. Maybe so.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just reset the computer this morning. So
Stream says maybe YouTube is testing something. They've now put a 5 to 10 second delay on live streams. Seems like they're gearing up for something. So yeah. Anyway, that's where we are here as we're getting through the morning. I guess. Just don't know when you and Tyler are going to talk. We saw the videos. Saw you getting off the bus there in Tupelo at what was the establishment's name? What was the gas station? Brothers Quick Stop.
Yes.
Stop and Go. Was it one or the other?
Brothers.
You didn't hang around.
No, I was tired.
Did you go in at all?
I did not.
You just got straight in the pickup.
I did.
Okay.
I slept on the bus.
That final day was the worst one.
Yeah, I didn't sleep at all on the train, really. The train was hot. And I took a shower in the train thinking that would help me go to sleep. Woke up completely soaked, like sweaty.
Did you really?
Yeah, and so I took another shower. I thought we were landing in Memphis or arriving in Memphis, I should say, at 6:30, and the guy's beating on my door at 5:30 going, 10 minutes.
Oh.
And I was like, whoa. But I was already up. 'Cause I woke up from what little sleep I got at like 4 in the morning, looked at my phone to see what time it was, and was like, F it. And I just kind of started getting up, got my stuff organized, and then I had 4 hours to kill, including 2 hours at the Greyhound bus station, which was not fun at all, honestly. Police were in there all the time. There was a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time I got on the bus, I slept.
You were glad to be on the bus.
I was glad to get home.
Was the bus full?
Pretty full.
Was it really?
Yeah, pretty full.
So I made this observation.
Yeah, and trains, by the way.
Yeah, real quick. Go ahead.
Those are different people.
The trains.
Train people are different people than other people.
In what way? Good, bad, indifferent?
I mean, I'm not judging.
No, that's fine. I mean, we have what is the
older
for sure?
Kind of more granola.
Okay.
Almost overly friendly. I dealt with a lot of overly friendly on my last day.
Did you really?
Yeah, I went to the Cubs-Braves game, and there was a little boy sitting next to me, and he was great because he never said jack. He was a Braves fan, cheering for the Braves, and I was like, that's cool, whatever, you do your thing. I said hello to him. He said hi back, and that was the extent of it. But this older gentleman to my left, he wanted to talk. I didn't want to talk. I just wanted to chill.
He asked you what you do for a living?
I was an insurance underwriter for the Hartford.
Is that what you said?
Yes. Been down this road, know how to kill it. And that kind of killed it. Do you come to Wrigley often? No. Are you a Cubs fan? Well, the hat might give it away, but casually. I'm just anything I can to kill it. And then at one point, Ian Happ hits I think it was Ian Happ, hit a 2-out double. And he was super mad that he didn't try to stretch it to 3. And I made the mistake of going, you can't make the third out at third base. Well, if he'd hustled, I'm actually like 5th inning, I'm thinking I might leave just to avoid having to have this conversation.
But you had been so energized talking to people in the first part of the trip.
Yeah, but
and whatnot. Were you tired of it? Because let me make this observation.
3 days of that much interaction.
I think I told Siski this, and I may have said this on the live stream the night that we had you drink the bottle of wine.
And this was the day after the bottle of wine.
So your synapses were a little more fried by that point.
It was a lot. I woke up Thursday morning. I mean, I don't really get hungover, which is probably a sign that I drink too often.
But you were then. Or tired.
I was just worn out.
You didn't sleep well.
I went to the gym, tried to get a workout in, never really could get going. I was just super sluggish. And so by the time I got to the ballpark, I just kind of wanted to chill.
Well, Neal, you'd had 7 beers and then a bad bottle of wine.
8 beers.
8 beers.
And then
a really bad bottle of wine.
I brought the bottle back to
We're going to send it to the great gentleman that spent some money to get Neal to go through the bottle. Also, I did tell Siski, and I'm going to mean this, in the next like 7 days, probably when you're back, we are going to bring someone in and on camera put Tyler through a wine class to learn about legs and tannins. And
I'd like to attend that.
Yes. Oh no, we're all in.
Okay.
The full sommelier experience for our boy Mr. Siski. Yeah, that's coming here in the.
He was like, I don't understand the big deal. I'm like,
I know a guy. I've already established contact with said guy. We got this figured out.
Like it's 70. When they tell you at the up front, it's 75% Merlot. That's. I mean,
it should just say red blend. The bottle should just say red blend.
And just don't tell you.
Yeah, and just let it go and let it be what it is. But no, my point is, again, I may have said this on the stream because I was kind of joking at the time, but I'm really serious. The podcast you guys did when you were at the bar or wherever you were waiting to go to the airport later in the day, your last day in Alaska, like 3:00 in the afternoons when we saw it.
Salty's on second.
You were eating some halibut.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
It was good halibut, by the way.
It's the lightest I've seen you in a decade. You were having a big time. You were, like smiling like a jackass eating sawbriars. I mean, you were tickled the entire day. And I went, this
Alaska.
trip has been phenomenal for my man. Like he's
I liked Alaska.
He was radiating. And then it just sort of went. Zzz.
Alaska's sort of my people.
You got back into the contiguous 48 and things kind of went sideways a little
back
for
amongst all you people that are so angry and stuff. Alaskans are like,
they weren't angry.
Really light, nice people.
So you got the positive out of a trip or a vacation that frankly I struggle with most of the time.
Yeah. I'm actually pretty and I got back and I knew I was tired.
Yeah.
And slept. Rested this weekend.
Did you?
I went sports free I'm sports free for 4 days. And it started out organic and it ended up intentional. Because it kind of was relaxing.
Quick aside, and I'll come back to that. You mentioned telling the guy you were an underwriter.
Yeah.
So over the weekend, guy I didn't know walks up, starts talking to me. And he goes, hey, what do you do or whatever? And I wasn't thinking, and I said sports media. And that's what I said. No, it gets better. I said sports media. And he goes, oh, and I'm like within a half a second, I went, he has no clue who I am. I could have said auditor. I could have said whatever. We wouldn't be having a conversation right now. No one wants to talk to an IRS auditor.
Nope.
Ever. So he goes.
I never say that because I'm afraid someone might punch you.
And so he goes, do you, whatever. I was like, I cover Ole Miss. He goes, do you cover baseball?
Ooh.
And I went,
it's too late now.
And I went, yeah. He goes, so I got a question. I was like, why not? He goes, so what's up with the mic thing? And I was like, well, I was like, do you have 30 seconds or you got 4 hours? And I kind of made a joke. And he goes, well, like his job, whatever. And I was like, well, they were going to fire him 4 weeks ago, probably. And then it's a money thing. And and this is my best part. He goes, oh, I don't know. I don't believe that. And I went, okay. I mean, sure.
Yeah.
But what do you want me to do? Sit here and argue with you and convince you at this point?
That's a funny thing because he
literally goes, yeah, I don't think that's true. And I was like,
okay. What I've learned with that is, okay, walk away. We're done. You don't believe me? Okay. That's cool. I'm not going to make you.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to fight you either. And then the other thing that kind of drives me nuts, and for me, it's a conversation killer, is, well, you said 2 weeks ago, okay, have you ever changed your mind on anything? Like, seriously, have you ever gone into a day all day with, hey, we're going to have Mexican tonight. We're going to have Mexican tonight. And then something happens or doesn't happen or whatever, or someone in your house goes, you know what, I don't really want Mexican. Can we just, instead of turning the steak, instead of turning the flank steak into fajita meat, can we just bake a sweet potato and have a salad? Well, it was true at 2:00 that you were going to have Mexican.
And then
at 6:00 you didn't.
And that's a very basic decision, not one with money and lives and other factors in 1,000 different ways.
100 things. And so you get into money, the stuff changes. You were going to go on a vacation until you didn't. It doesn't mean that you weren't. We were going to go to the beach this summer until we discovered that we had to fix 2 bathrooms. So the planning to go to the beach was a real thing until we weren't going to the beach.
Yeah. Fluid.
I don't know why do people hate that word?
I know.
So much of life is fluid, right? There's the whole you plan, God laughs thing. That's
not wrong.
That's fluidity.
Yeah. So
anyway. They were leaning towards making a change, and then when you dive into the finances of said change, it's like, in light of everything else that's going on, it might have been irresponsible. It doesn't mean that 4 weeks ago they weren't thinking about making a change.
Yeah.
I mean, we go back 2 years.
Over.
They were firing him on a certain day at a certain time until
2 years ago yesterday.
Until he got into the tournament. And then
the Monday of Memorial Day.
And then it's, okay, well, we'll wait a week. And then they won that week. And you
know
know the rest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, stuff changes. I've never understood why that is so difficult for people to get. But for whatever reason, it really, not everybody, but for a lot of people, fluidity is, but I think you and I talked about this many times. I use the same example, not because it's an actual example, but there are people that Monday is meatloaf night. You have it at 6 p.m. You have it with the same sides. That's when it is. Tuesday is taco night. Wednesday is chicken night. That is what you have. And by God, you don't steer from it. Those people exist.
Not anywhere near that extent, but I almost feel like I've had to be careful as I get older, not moving that direction a little bit. I'm so routine oriented.
Yeah.
That one little hiccup in my daily routine, and I get flustered. I get anxious a little bit in a way that I wouldn't have done 10 years ago.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. I get bothered, and I'm
sort of the opposite.
You've gotten the other way a little bit.
The older I get, the more I'm just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, I wish I'd trying, but
yeah, I'm just kind of like, yeah, sure. Whatever you want to do. Like, I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was Saturday. It was really hot out. We'd been out working in the yard. We bathed the dogs. We did all that stuff. We hung out at the pool. And, yeah, it was Saturday. Because we had plans to, we were going to grill shrimp and stuff. We thawed the shrimp, everything. And it's just me and Laura. And she's like, I want a martini. And I'm like, okay, I'll fix you a martini. And I fixed her a martini. I fixed me a drink. We sat down and she goes, let's watch Ted Lasso. I've already seen Ted Lasso. Laura's not seen it. Campbell has told her, our oldest, that she loved it. Carson loved it. I don't know if Caroline's watched it or not. And I'm like, okay. So our plan completely shifted from that. And then 2 or 3 martinis later, she's really into Ted Lasso, doesn't really want to stop to cook. And it's like, we'll find something to heat up. Let's just watch Ted Lasso. So the plan at 4:00 in the afternoon was we're going to grill shrimp. And it went from, nope, we're going to watch Ted Lasso till 10:00. And
whatever happens on the food side.
We're going to drink. We ended up finding some Trader Joe ravioli and just heating it up. I mean, and it was fun. But the point was, like, for me, I was completely unflustered by that change. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Season 1 of Ted Lasso, by the way,
it's really good.
It really holds up.
It does. I haven't gone back and watched it again, but so, I mean, are you invested to the point of you'll watch all the way through again? Do y'all have to watch together
I'll
at
watch
this point?
I'll watch it with her.
Okay.
We're into season 2 now.
But, like, she'll wait on you to watch it.
Yeah.
Even though you've seen it.
I think so.
Okay.
I had to tell her, stop asking me what's going to happen. Just watch.
Do you give any
No,
clues or anything?
I'm like, just watch.
You give no sentence at all?
I'm like, just watch it.
I will be curious to see what your interpretation. It's not going to be to the Breaking Bad level, but I will be curious to see what you think as far as someone binging it versus watching it in real time.
Yeah.
In a different way.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what
I will say the first few episodes of season 2 are better this time around. For some reason.
Yeah, I think that definitely means then that it's a YouTube problem because, yeah, he's a good point. Our scroll at the bottom is fine. It's not jerking.
Oh, it's a good point.
So Ecamm is fine.
So it's a YouTube thing.
It's a YouTube thing.
Yeah, makes sense.
And our internet is good. It's literally saying stream is healthy. So, anyway.
Okay.
Last thing on the trip, though, I know you and Tyler will break it down whenever you get back together. Y'all also will announce the winner of the mass counter, thanks to Comer and Southern for their help.
I never saw any of the emails, which is a good thing. I have no access to that account. So I don't know. I just counted masks.
Yeah. And we do not know the final number until the reveal.
Yeah, I mean, I know the number. But
well, yeah.
I don't know what that means for winners and losers.
Yeah. Would you change anything about your logistics or your trip looking back? Did you make mistakes? other than agreeing to drink a bottle of wine?
That was one. No, not really. I mean, I could have done the train thing to Anchorage and then flown.
Your knee wouldn't have held up, and you were by yourself.
I was by myself. Like I did some stuff by myself. Obviously, I'm able to entertain myself, but I don't think I wanted to get on a train for 12 hours. Like that's all about scenic and nature, beauty, and stuff by myself. I didn't really want to do that for 12 hours.
No, I think route-wise back home, you did the correct thing.
Yeah, I mean, good Lord willing, I think I found a place that I'd love to go on a vacation. I'd love to go and like with family and take the train to Anchorage and then do Anchorage for a couple of days. That'd be fun.
Well, and then I gave Tyler grief the entire week for setting you up for success instead of failure because he gave you way too many good options for your mentality and plan and whatnot.
Yeah.
He literally put you in a remote part of the country and then let you spend 2 days in Chicago is what he thought was punishment.
Yeah.
Tyler thought, oh, he's never going to spend the extra day to go to Chicago. Or if he goes to Chicago, we're going to punish him by making him stay at it another day. I'm like, have you lost your damn mind?
Yeah. No,
Hold on a minute.
I love Chicago.
No, you're a little new here. That's not the answer. That's not it.
That was my first time in Chicago in 5 years, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it. Going back in a couple of weeks. I already can't wait.
Yeah. Are you really?
Yeah. We have a trip planned.
Oh, did you really?
It's a long weekend with friends of ours.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I did know that. Yeah, that's right.
I was already excited about it. Now I'm like super excited.
So
about it. Chicago, the last day I was there, the weather was like
perfect.
Yeah. It was fantastic. Like I had time to kill that afternoon after the Cubs game. And I just sat down at the Riverwalk area and just watched the boats go by and the weather was perfect. I went and got a margarita. It was excellent.
So 2 things. One, how hard did you chuckle to yourself when you chose Trump Tower for your hotel?
Pretty hard.
Pretty hard?
Yeah.
As you saw that was an option.
By the way, I said this on a show. No matter what you think of Trump, the person, Trump, the president, whatever, here's what's for me now after spending 2 days, Trump, the hotel.
Service pretty good?
Pretty hard to beat.
Service pretty
I mean, customer service is an absolute 10.
Yeah. No, I'm giving Neal credit. He created content, made the most of everything. Like, because that's where I was going with that. Was Ziski did not punish Neal, but he also gave Neal the perfect opportunity to produce the best content over the course of the week,
which is kind of the point.
Which was the point.
Right.
Yes, that was. We were trying to have fun, celebrate Comer and Southern's help,
of course,
pay off the bet.
Yeah.
And frankly, even though I was not involved in this at all, kind of harkened back to our old days a little bit where we did some more fun kind of interactive stuff. I think it probably was a good reset reminder for those type of things. So, all that is true.
I mean, looking at the streams and stuff, it was definitely
successful. It was great.
Well, I mean, I was like, we probably are not doing some things we ought to be doing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I thought even some of just the way Tyler and you guys, integrated Instagram and some of the just show people what's in your eyes that frankly I forget about a lot of times because I get sort of bogged down with I know what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, probably something even just as similar as I was in Baton Rouge. Hey, this is what Alex Box Stadium is. Like, I know, so I'm kind of bored with it. But the majority of our people have no freaking idea what Alex Box Stadium looks like compared to anybody else or what that is. Something along those lines. So that one, and then 2, how did you learn of, and then did you consider turning down the first class ticket from our boy Marshall?
Did I consider? No, I did not consider turning.
You didn't think that might have been against the spirit of the rule?
Spirit of rules.
Because Tyler was in charge of your travel out, so technically that was you violating the logistics of the agreement.
Marshall sent me a text, said, "Are you by chance flying United?" And I said, "Yeah." I didn't plan it. And he goes, give me a few minutes, and sent me back a upgrade. Thanks. Awesome.
You don't think that was against the logistics?
No.
Of the trip?
We cover college sports. I really don't want to hear about spirit of rules. I mean, stop.
Because Tyler had you back by the bathroom.
Yeah.
Not in first class.
No. I'll tell you what, my right knee appreciated it, especially the next day when I had to run away from a bear.
Otter.
I don't know.
Probably an otter.
It was a big splash.
I don't think bears would be in the water like that. I don't think it's
You don't think?
No.
Okay, that's probably an otter.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing.
Then now I wish I would have stayed and just stared at the otter.
Unless it was a mutant bear, and then, I mean, all bets are off.
Yeah. I decided not to roll the dice.
No, I get it. In the first class seat probably sets you up for success the next day more than the travel on the other one would have.
Yeah,
from a
probably
content and moving around standpoint
so.
and the whole deal.
Yeah, I got up the next morning and went for a long walk. That was the craziest part of Alaska, because my body clock woke me up at 3:30 in the morning because it was 6:30 Central. And when I went to sleep at midnight Alaska time, it was still light. And when I woke up at 3:30 Alaska time, it was bright.
Mm-hmm.
And my body just went, get up.
Here we go.
Yeah, and so I got up and, went for a long walk / run and all that stuff, and then did all the stuff in North Pole that I promised Tyler I'd do, including go to North Pole High School, home of the Patriots.
It's bothering me. It's the Patriots.
I know.
It's driving me
just
insane.
Be the elves.
Yeah, why are you not the elves or the penguins or the reindeer or something?
Penguins would be good.
What are we doing?
Yeah, it's awful. Like, I was so disappointed.
Patriots.
And they used the New England Patriots logo.
Did they really?
Yeah. It's
not even the old one, this cool retro Minuteman.
No, the current one. I'm like, what are you doing?
You should go find the football coach.
Yeah, total failure. But I did that, went to the Santa's workshop place, which was huge.
Yeah, I saw the outside of it. Looked like a large establishment.
It was big. And then I went into Fairbanks, and Fairbanks was kind of cool. Interesting. Small town.
Small town?
Yeah. Went to Hoodoo Brewing Company. Mm-hmm. Really nice people. Good beer, too. Had several good beers. I mean, I wasn't having them because I had to drive, but they let me sample a couple of beers. Sure. They were really nice. And they had this pizza, like a pop-up pizza thing.
Okay.
And the weather's like 70 degrees. It's really, really nice. And the people, this is where there were just tons of people there. It's like 4:00 in the afternoon, their time. And the people are showing up. They're going over, they're ordering like these little individual pizzas. And they're getting a beer and they're just hanging out. And I was like, man, this place is awesome. I mean, if I didn't,
just chilling,
I could have chilled there for a full night and been perfectly good.
Yeah.
But I had to go to the airport, and then we did the show at the airport, and then I got on the plane and
say la vie.
I really didn't sleep.
Yeah.
And then the next day. So by the time I got to Thursday morning, I also was operating on very little sleep.
You were. Yeah. You didn't have a consistent night at any point during that. All right, we'll move on to some other topics in a second. First, next partner is Athletic Greens. Take AG1 by Athletic Greens every day. Give it a try, because don't always get the diet you want. Don't always get all your vitamins, nutrients, minerals, things that you need every single day. And it's a great way to help you out because it's a comprehensive health and the power of habit all in one. It's great for recovery. Again, I'm taking it before a run, after a run. You just feel good, like you're doing something good for your body at that point, because it's so much more than greens powder. It's all of your key health products all in one. So a comprehensive solution is what you need from a supplement routine. You can get Athletic Greens a try, because they're giving you a 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs for your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/MPW. That's athleticgreens.com/MPW. Check it out.
10 Weekend Thoughts will be up about an hour or so after we finish this. It's brought to you by Andrew Seago, Seago Wealth Management. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with the personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago, Seago Wealth Management, specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting and see what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. We're also brought to you by Grenada Home Center. They've got paint by Benjamin Moore, Pittsburgh Paints, Farrell Calhoun, flooring of any and all types, stone countertops, whether you're looking for granite, quartz, or anything else. And they've got window treatments from plantation shutters to whatever else suits your fancy. It's Grenada Home Center, 1301 Sunset Drive, Suite H in Grenada, Mississippi. Call them at 662-226-3127. Mark your calendars for the start of fall sports registration with the Oxford Park Commission on Monday, June 3rd. So a week, I guess Monday, coming up 6 days from now. They'll be taking signups for youth flag football, baseball, softball, volleyball, soccer, and more. Your children will be able to play all sports thanks to the new format that will allow their sports to play concurrently, with various sports playing on different nights of the week. So create an OPC website account at oxfordparkcommission.com or contact OPC Community Relations Director John Davis at johndavis@oxfordparkcommission.com for additional information. And speaking of my trip, it was brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, Batesville, or the surrounding area, call Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern 662-429-4429.
Just a couple quick things on this Mike Bianco situation. Colin and Brian have another breakdown again. I did a podcast after that was announced, whenever as well. I guess it was with Brian. I'm trying to the week is entirely
Thursday night.
Yeah, it was Thursday night. It's kind of lost on me at this point. We went live prior to Neal and Siski going live from the train.
Yep.
Yeah, the train at that point. No real new news. I wrote a column this morning, some suggestions for Mike and the program as they embark on this this new hire. They have not announced that it's a pitching coach yet, but tea leaves and whatnot. We'll move on with that with that assertion at this extent. Read it, so I don't want to give it all away because there's several things in this, but I see a few comments that have come in on the message board from it. I said in there that Ole Miss needs to avoid anybody associated with the program because simply the optics of that are not tenable right now. It's not doable. That was not including Mickey Callaway. However, I would be stunned if Mickey Callaway is a candidate for this job. Those are not the same thing. I was not ruling out Mickey Callaway, but that would surprise me if that were the case. I've been told they're looking for someone with college and pro experience, trying to mesh those together. It was my idea that they should find a way, because they have to give this guy a 2-year deal. Frankly, Mike should pay the second year out of his own buyout because his financial situation is one of the reasons why they have this opportunity for 2025. So it would make sense to me to do it that way. Laff and Clem are going to be coaching on the final year of their deals. They didn't extend the assistant coach salaries, but you can't get a top level pitching coach without a multi-year agreement. So you have to be creative with that. And I have not been told anything about Mike paying it out of his own pocket or his own buyout the way that I suggested in this article. However, I do believe they would be creative in a way that does not take it from a baseball budgetary port from the athletic department where you're increasing your expenses, which is kind of the same thing. But either way, I think that's true no matter what you're talking about there. And then the big thing, and look, I've been told this is the case, at least that he is telling people this is the case. He has, in actuality and in optics, he has to let all the pitching go. Baseball is the number one sport for fans believing they understand exactly the game as well as anyone else. I think it comes from coaching Little League and things. I don't mean that rudely or whatever. I really don't.
No, it's true.
Baseball is a very simple game and a very complicated game all at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can get into, I had little Johnny's and we did this, and there's like a smidgen of truth to it, then a lot more complication to it, and it's just like whatever. But point being,
especially modern pitching.
Yeah. It's whatever. I mean, I made a joke in there. I was like, look, I haven't coached past Little League where we always said, hey, keep your back shoulder up. That is the worst advice imaginable for an actual hitter at this level. So, but Mike needs to stop taking mound visits unless it's changing a pitcher. Pitching coach needs to do that moving forward. He needs to stop calling pitches. Pitching coach fully calls pitches at this point. You move on. You manage the program. You run it like a major league staff or like a football staff where everybody has their own areas. They handle them, and then you have an overseer.
Some programs actually are letting the catcher call it because he's there and you're quick and you have a game plan. Here's the plan. Now go execute it.
Yeah. And you got to trust the dude, but I don't have a problem with that. I think sometimes we can overemphasize the importance of pitch calling, if I'm just being real frank.
Sure.
Like,
most guys are only throwing 2 or 3 pitches.
Yeah, let's not make this where there's only one thing that's going to work in this instance, no matter what.
I've yet to see you Darvish out there.
Yeah. So
For those who don't know, he throws 7 pitches.
Yeah. There aren't many of those guys.
No.
Zero.
There's a reason he's making what he makes.
So I think optically is a huge deal for this moving forward. But in actuality, no. I mean, look, he's got to step back. He's got to simply supplement. He's got to run the program, because the biggest thing, and I probably came off like more of a shot than I meant it to be in the story. I said there's no chapter in Skip Bertman's book on 2024 baseball. Mm-mm. And it's true, because you've got the portal and you've got analytics that are so present, but so present you can get bogged down in them incorrectly.
Sure.
You have to know where it matters and where it doesn't matter. Because frankly, I know all the Ole Miss people freaked out for years because everybody else was shifting and Mike wasn't. Finally, the last 2 years, Mike's been shifting. Shifts are overplayed in college baseball. A, we don't have the sample sizes to match them.
Right.
And number 2, we don't have pitchers that pitch to them well. I've said this and I maintain, because what happens is they get in the shift and then the pitcher misses his spot, throws a fastball in the outside corner, and the kid hits it the other way.
Right.
And that completely defeated the purpose of the shift to begin with.
When Major League Baseball had the shift, it worked so effectively for 2 reasons. One, you had so many data points. And 2, guys execute pitches at that level.
Hundreds of at-bats, thousands of at-bats.
Yes.
That know exactly kind of what this guy does and doesn't do.
And at the big league level, missing a location is like an inch or 2. The college level guys are obviously missing their location by a foot sometimes. So it's a completely different thing. And that's the reason at the major league level they've moved to minimize the shift, because it was actually making the game more boring.
Mm-hmm. So deciphering analytics, using the analytics appropriately in the portal, all those different things. Like I told somebody over the weekend, and this has been all coaches. This isn't even Ole Miss specific. But as the portal has come in like it has, and you're trying to figure out how this mid-major kid's going to translate, and you're going to do all those things. Look, the movie was awful. It was draft day level awful, but trouble with the curve. You had the old scouts that, hey, I saw his swing and it's whatever and whatever, and you got the new school guy that goes whatever. It has to be a blend of that, because the analytics have to go far beyond basic stats of this cat hit 27 home runs at Samford and he's going to do this here. I mean, because the data is available, at least in some parks these kids have played in throughout the year. Hey, what was his exit velocity on fastballs 92 and up?
Right.
What was his whatever on curve? But what, like, you have to figure out how to translate it to the actual thing he's going to see. And then you can't hit and hope. You've got to evaluate every kid that you want to sign into almost kind of moneyballish. Hey, what's this guy going to give me? And if I know this second baseman's probably going to hit 275 and he's going to hit 6 home runs and he's going to play really good defensively, okay, let me sit this in my puzzle and then figure out how to go around that puzzle and go, okay, well, I need this dude here even if the defense doesn't work. And then suddenly you're figuring out what that looks like from that standpoint. I mean, it's pretty – you're seeing which programs are doing a good job of this and which ones aren't, frankly. It's what's happening.
100%.
And a lot of that is delegating and figuring out who's in charge of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, look, I get the angst. But from a straight structure standpoint, Carl Lafferty is listed as the pitching coach, okay? Just stick with me.
Sure.
He can't be the full-time pitching coach, handle all the pitching responsibility, and be the recruiting coordinator in charge of all the portal and all the signees. It doesn't work.
Not enough hours in the day.
So you hire a pitching coach. You put him over pitching. You make Carl a recruiting coordinator / bench coach because he's been around forever. And then you go coach that way and you manage and you facilitate all the things in that direction. That's the answer to this, as long as Mike can grit his teeth and go with it and let it be the change that we see what works over the course of the next year.
Well, realistically, if it doesn't work, you know what's next.
There's no guarantee it's going to work, but it's the only way it might work.
Yeah. So you see what happens.
Started saying that with a lot of stuff lately, and it's true. I mean, if you do the exact same thing you did last year, it's not going to work.
No.
So try something else and see. Look, it's going to be a hard 1-year return. It just is.
Yeah.
I mean,
in a brutal league.
Yeah, they got
Just
11 in.
Brutal league.
They got 11 in.
That doesn't count Oklahoma and Texas.
They got 13 in.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oklahoma's hosting.
Yeah, they had a 14 RPI at the year. They did. Texas is a Solid 2 seed. They're fine.
Yeah, very solid.
And they may fire their coach. Actually, I think they are firing their coach if they don't win the College Station Regional this weekend. And I don't think they're winning the College Station Regional this weekend.
I know who they want.
He's very close to the College Station Regional this weekend. I'm all here for it. Hey, look,
Sign me up.
Let's give me all that, okay?
Very close to the regional. Like
auditioning as we speak.
Some people could say he's there.
Because look, that Texas fan base and that group, they think they should win at everything. They like Pierce. He's been to Omaha maybe multiple times.
Yeah.
But they're getting into the SEC, and they're trying to maximize and have as good as they can have when they enter the SEC and what this league is starting next year. And they just don't think he's that caliber to be able to make that transition and keep them at the top of the SEC when he hasn't been able to be at the top of the Big 12 this year. Right, wrong, and different. That's where this thing's at. I mean, they are going to be one hot fan base because I think they're losing to Lafayette on Friday. Lose to Lafayette, then get put out of that thing and don't even kind of get to because Matt Degg's club for at Lafayette's pretty good. That's a real possibility.
I don't think they can beat Texas A&M.
I do not either.
Twice.
Yes, they want the A&M coach.
Yeah.
Tennessee's always working on a new deal for Vitello, and I mean, look, hell of a job. Like, is he an asshole? Sure, but he would become your asshole in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I mean, just
100%.
Just
look, he's a phenomenal coach.
They won the tournament. They won the regular season, tied Kentucky. He's got multiple 50-win seasons already.
They had a bad weekend against Notre Dame. That's the extent of it.
They did.
I mean, the guy's a hell of a coach.
I mean, I know they were a 2 seed last year, but it'd be all right. It happens.
He's a hell of a coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Texas wants Vitello too, but they don't think they can get him. But that's the thought. Vanderbilt's in Eric Bakic's region. That could be kind of an interesting weekend to watch there. Vanderbilt's number 2 at Clemson.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of ACC, SEC matchups. Every ACC host has an SEC number 2.
Yeah.
State at Virginia, Alabama at Florida State, LSU at Chapel Hill.
I'm just going to tell you, I think Mississippi State's heading to Omaha.
Omaha. You think they're beating Arkansas too?
Mm-hmm.
So you think they're going to lose on Friday against the Hogs and then come back and win 2 in a row? Because they ain't beating Hagen-Smith.
Yeah, they almost beat him the last time.
I don't care. I know I'm putting my money on. They do pitch it though. Stephen and Sinjay.
Hagen-Smith didn't look right the other day pitching. That's the other part. You get to this weird part of the year where guys get a little tired. Guys have been overused. And you get to the postseason and they just don't have it.
To be the number 4 national seed, North Carolina got no favors with a hot LSU team in as their 2 seed because they're going to get they're going to get Luke Holman on Saturday.
Yeah, I've got LSU winning that regional.
Do you?
Yeah.
You putting all this in 10 thoughts?
Yeah.
You picking regional winners?
Yep. I needed something.
So how many SEC teams do you have advancing? Do you
on.
have any losing their regional?
Hold on, I'll tell you.
Okay.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 SEC teams to supers.
You don't have Alabama winning in Tallahassee.
No.
You don't have Florida winning in OSU.
No.
They're at Oklahoma State for anybody. By the way, runs, and more runs. That is a launching pad park out there.
Yeah.
There's going to be home runs for days.
Yeah.
Like the committee who did a horrible job this year, they put nothing but sluggers in that park. Like that is going to be a crazy weekend from a TV standpoint, and the home runs and the runs scored. So just
might be a lot like the one, was it a couple of years ago when Arkansas was there and all the games were in the 20s?
Because they had a 3 seed that could bang a little bit too. Was it Missouri State maybe? Somebody like that.
That seems right.
Yeah.
Someone scored tons of runs.
Yeah, it was just you were never out of the game. It was constantly
literally like the game was like 18-15 or something.
Yeah. So there's that. Real quick, I know it's not our fan base that's listening. This state media push about how unfair this thing has been the last 2 days. I get that it's the first time in history that a team has won that many SEC games and not hosted. I get it. You're right. Okay. They didn't deserve to host.
Yeah.
They weren't even the number one team out from a host deserving standpoint. And if I hear one more time, oh my God, our stadium. Stadium size does not dictate host abilities. All you need is a minor requirement to host a regional. Shut up.
They can't.
I know you invented the game, even though you only have one national title, but shut up.
Did you know Abner Doubleday went to Mississippi State?
He did.
Theo Epstein went to Mississippi State.
You have a bunch of quad 4 losses, and
Bart Giamatti.
Relative to the rest of the league, you played a soft SEC schedule,
yes,
which created a 24 RPI. In today's world of how good this league is, you should be eliminated from hosting contention if you're outside the top 20 in RPI. It's inexcusable if you are planning to host.
Look,
they didn't play Kentucky, Tennessee, or South Carolina.
You have a league that has the top 3 national seeds.
Yes.
The 5th national seed and the 7th national seed. They weren't going to give 8, 9 SEC host sites. It just wasn't going to happen. It's not going to happen.
And look, I get Arizona didn't beat anybody. You're right. They won 3 games against Quad 1.
They do this all the time.
But they won the regular season and the tournament title in the Pac-12. I have no issue with them having.
And they're not going to punish them, nor should they, that they didn't play in the SEC. You played in the SEC and you didn't finish in the top 6. Is what it is. Go win.
Yeah, go beat Virginia.
And I think they will.
And look.
But I am sick of their media bitches too much. God almighty, you're always a victim. I hate all that stuff.
I mean, you had multiple of them just arguing with Kendall yesterday. It's like, he didn't choose them.
He wasn't in the room.
I mean, they need them to say they were mistreated. Like, it's like there's this necessity to be, oh my God. Like, your RPI was 24.
It's this
and whether we like RPI or not, it matters for host sites. It always does.
It clearly mattered.
Except for West Coast schools, and it's just different. They don't, it's just different. You can bitch about it all you want, but it's just different.
And you know they're going to try to balance geography. Because it's a TV deal at this point. You're trying to figure out ways, and if you make it nothing but an SEC, ACC tournament, well, people out west won't watch.
You also are in actually better shape going to Charlottesville, having Virginia as your 1, and then going to Fayetteville against a team that can't hit versus what East Carolina got, which was Wake Forest, a hellaciously good 2.
Yep.
Chase Burns probably on day 2.
And then if you win.
And then Tennessee.
You
don't want to go to Knoxville.
No, of course not.
No one wants to go to Knoxville.
Or Lexington, for that matter.
Because I said that on Twitter, and I got multiple state fans going, no, Wake Forest, you want that draw. I'm like,
okay.
No, you don't. You just want to put a 1 by your name so you can feel better about your life.
Okay, I want to go back to the conversation you had with the guy who said, well, I don't believe you. At that point, you just walk away. They want to be a victim.
No, RPI is outdated, but they're still using it. Again, I'm not saying it's a good metric. It's a shitty metric.
But it's the metric they used. And they told you they would use it. And they used it. Okay. Hey, we're going to judge this on this. And then that's what they judge it on. You don't really get to push back on that. Look at the schedule that some of the SEC teams played.
It's why Florida got in, right or wrong.
I mean,
number 1 schedule, maybe number 1 or number 2 non-conference schedule, because they played Miami and Florida State a bunch.
Look at their schedule. Florida could have very easily puffed up their record elsewhere by playing Sisters of the Poor.
Yeah, sure.
They didn't. They played a really hard schedule. So did Arkansas. So did Kentucky. So did Tennessee. And they benefited from it. So did Texas A&M. They played a really hard schedule, and they benefited from it. Ole Miss played a really hard schedule. Ole Miss's problem is they just didn't win enough conference games.
They would have benefited from it if they could have won enough to matter.
You now know if Ole Miss had gotten 13 and 17, they were safely in the tournament as a 2 seed.
Probably a 2.
but they didn't win enough games, and you knew going in, hey, you probably got to get to 13.
They had to win 2 in Baton Rouge.
And they didn't.
Yeah.
And so there you go.
I think that's what they needed, period. They needed 2 in Baton Rouge.
And they would have been in, probably as a 2 seed in Tallahassee or something. Sure. Yeah. But you didn't get there. And so, okay, well, those were the stipulations. We didn't meet it. Okay. They weren't going to pass out 9 SEC host sites. Just weren't.
They did a really bad job of not letting everyone believe that simply if you had a person on the committee, you were getting in no matter what your resume was. Because Coastal Carolina had no business in this field.
Right.
They have a horrific resume. They finished 7th in their conference and got in because their guy was the head of the selection committee.
Yeah. He had a rough.
Shut up about the, hey, I'm out of the room when they make the decisions. Shut up. Kansas State had no business in this field over some of the teams they got in over. TCU, one of them. Frankly, the team that might have been most mistreated was Northeastern. I know nobody cares, but they played a really good non-conference schedule. They won a lot of games, and they weren't even one of the first 4 out. Completely got jacked in this thing.
I saw where College of Charleston was pretty upset.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some misfires downstream here.
Yeah.
I thought host-wise they did pretty good. I thought they did a good job with the 16.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really bad job with the at-larges at the bottom. Like, that was where it got funky.
Yeah.
Because, frankly, some of these SEC schools should have been 3s.
Yeah,
like, Bama should have been a 3.
I was surprised Bama was a 2.
Yeah, they gave...
But that was, but again...
It was RPI-based.
There you go.
Yeah.
And they said at the beginning, RPI matters, and then it mattered. Strength of schedule matters. They told you that, and then it mattered.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the SEC, the 2 things going in the next season is you need to make the schedule as difficult as you can make it, and then you need to get to 13 SEC wins.
Frankly, you need to be kind of honest with yourself because if you are trying to host, you need to win non-conference games. If you're trying to just get in, play as hard of a schedule as humanly possible.
Right.
There's a little bit of even understanding yourself here and what we're trying to do. Because if State just wins more non-conference games, they're hosting. Their RPI got jacked over by all their non-conference mess. Didn't play enough good teams. Didn't win enough good games.
Yeah, lost some weird games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened there. So, but my God, at you people. Like, the thread where it was the 16 host stadiums and then comparing to Duke Noble, it's like, what?
That is nothing.
And?
Nothing to do with anything.
I mean, okay.
Sure.
I mean, that's as relevant as going coaching salaries. We pay more, so we should host.
Yeah.
Okay. Best burgers in town, a list. We're great for the fan bases. Okay.
We have hotel rooms.
Hotel rooms by per capita.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
Great. Congrats.
Still going on the road. And look, they might go up there and win. They better hit a little. Virginia's really good offensively.
Yeah.
They better hit. But they didn't pitch. Stevens turned it around. They did a good job. The guy they hired as pitching coach in Starkville, his name is escaping me right now. He's done a phenomenal job.
He has.
So, for all that about your fan base, teams had a hell of one of the best defensive teams in the league. They've done the right things. It's what Ole Miss can learn from. They've done the right things to get better quickly, which is play better defense and find a little bit of development on pitching that can kind of save you and make it and have some depth and make that thing last. That's what you're trying to take away from this if you're Ole Miss. So, all right, Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com. A lot of different flavors for you available here. They deliver directly to your door. Fewer than 10 minutes, freezer to plate with Prime Shrimp. We're also going to make it a little cheaper on you as well, whether you're getting their new options, the soy ginger. They got their New Orleans style barbecue. It's a bestseller as well as their signature, one of my favorites. We're going to take care of you with buy 5 pouches or more. You get a lot of your favorites. Get a sampler, whatever you'd like there to try all the different flavors. 25% off. That's code RG to get 25% off. 5 pouches or more. primeshrimp.com.
Brought to you by the College Corner. College Corner has a location in Oxford, right off of Sisk Avenue in the Oxford Commons. Also 2 locations in the Jackson area. More than 4,000 square feet of the best Rebel gear here in Oxford. So come by, check it out. Also, don't forget to check out their website, collegecornerstore.com. We're brought to you by Argent Wealth, formerly Pinnacle Wealth. Argent, based in Ridgeland, Mississippi, represents clients in more than 20 states. They provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Argent, investing is treated like a commodity, decisions made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Argent will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's myargentwealth.com. Brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. John is part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows him to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. Get in touch with John. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget. He will give you options that you probably won't find on your own. And no, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or send an email at jedwards@regencytravel.net. Oxford's newest Greek restaurant on the square, Opa, is the perfect place to plan your fabulous company dinner, festive party event, Christmas party, even if you're thinking that far ahead. Fabulous food, great craft libations as well. They can accommodate up to 200 guests at Opa. For catering or booking information, contact Jeannie, 601-421-7147. We're brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency. They've been connecting great job opportunities to candidates since 1967. If you're on the job hunt, whether you're seeking an entry-level position or you're a seasoned professional, they have opportunities across the board: IT, engineering, dentistry, accounting, law, manufacturing, and more. They've got it at Service Specialist. It's always free to the candidate. They want to sit down with you, get to know you, learn your strengths, see what you're looking for in your next career move, and then help you find the right fit. 601-573-9242, or check out their site, servicespecialistltd.com.
Podcast also brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer medicine. For prescriptions the same day each month, take care of you in that way. It's also easy to transfer your medications. One phone call, they take care of the rest. So whether you're in Holly Springs with Tyson Drugs or Oxford with G&M, again, that's 662-236-2222. 7 of the 16 regionals, the 1 seed is playing the early game to get more rest versus more fans. How would you do that if you're John Doe, the coach? Or would it depend on what your stadium and fan base and situation is?
It would probably depend on a few things. One, I would rather play early in the event that I have a long game.
Or lose.
Now, look, if you're the bigger question for a lot of these SEC schools that have aces is, do you throw the ace on Friday?
Sure.
I don't.
Because I know a lot of fans go, no. But at the end of the day, if your 2 can't beat the 4, he can't beat the 2.
Right. So
outside of some weird 4 that's got Chris Sale over there, and you go,
right.
Hell, okay, we just drew that guy, and it is what it is.
But I play early, and
Georgia's playing early. A&M's playing early. North Carolina's playing late. Virginia's playing early. Clemson's playing late. Oregon State's playing late. Arkansas's playing early. That's a little surprise. A little interesting with that fan base.
I think that's what they do, though.
Is it always what they do?
I think that's what they do.
East Carolina playing early. Tennessee playing late. Kentucky playing early. Oklahoma playing late. NC State playing late.
Tennessee playing late tells me that Vitello he's not really worried about it.
Yeah.
We're going to beat the hell out of whoever we play.
We'll outscore the 4 and we'll move on.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Santa Barbara, the 1, Oklahoma State, late. Oklahoma State, late. Florida State, early. Arizona, late. So, yeah, it's 7 to 9.
Florida State's always done early.
That feels right, too. Yeah.
Because I've covered that, covering other teams, and
Southern Miss, the number 2 seed in Knoxville, just for anybody who's good.
Had a good year.
Good night and good luck.
Had a good year.
Beat Indiana and get you a win, and then face the Volunteers, see what happens.
Had a good season. Nothing to be ashamed of.
They don't hit enough for that one.
No.
You better bring your bats to the ballpark. I mean, no, I know number 1 overall seed, hot take, but Tennessee feels absolutely the one that's coming out of this regional for sure. Of any regional, the number 1 team I would pick to come out of one.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see what Kentucky does postseason.
Indiana State's a little sneaky.
Yeah.
That's a weird spot for the Cats.
And when you haven't gotten there.
No, they got to a super last year.
Yeah, but you hadn't gotten to Omaha.
Yeah.
That
pressure starts building.
You feel it a little bit.
Ask us how we know.
Sure. But I will say this, they are fun to watch, and they are loose, and they do their thing, and they get under your skin. And
Oklahoma's got a pretty tough draw with Duke as the 2.
yeah,
Duke's really good as a 2. UConn, frankly, is a little bit of a sneaky 3 that can be weird. Jim Penders has done a phenomenal job in Stores over the years. Richard Cross, it's like his favorite coach in the country. He's obsessed with Jim Penders at UConn.
Okay.
Yeah. South Carolina, I mean, if you told me they got that one, wouldn't be blown away.
Good team.
By the Gamecocks getting out right there.
Good team.
Wish they'd sent Oregon somewhere else and not just put all those teams. Oregon had to fly anyway. I kind of hate that they put them in San Diego, Santa Barbara's area right there. Florida's the 3 seed in Stillwater. They play Nebraska on day 1. Look, they're talented as all hell.
Yeah, I mean,
but
sure.
Yeah,
they just haven't put it together all year, and so you're gambling that they suddenly will put it all together.
I don't like Alabama getting out of Tallahassee.
No, I don't either.
And then
pretty strong performance though for Alabama. If you think back a little over a year, the scandal happens, all of that stuff, and they turn that into 2 NCAA tournament appearances. Pretty solid. That's tip your hat a little bit to the Crimson Tide, whether you like it or not.
Georgia got a really good draw with Wilmington and Georgia Tech as their 2 and their 3.
Yeah.
A&M got a tough draw. Texas and Lafayette for 2-3 is not an easy.
No gimme.
And then again, North Carolina gets LSU in there, and that's never a gimme.
No, it's tough.
That's not one you want to see on the line when it popped up yesterday. If you're whoever the coach is,
they've looked pretty solid for about a month now. It's late season. It's LSU. Went all the way to the Sunday final in Hoover.
So you didn't. You said you completely disconnected from sports. You didn't see the call at the end of the Carolina LSU game the other day.
I saw a replay of it.
What'd you think? You get it right?
Kind of thought he got it right. It's one we don't see very often.
I don't.
So
he wasn't in front of the plate though. It was beside the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of felt for everybody in that case. Someone's got to make a call, and someone.
Yeah, Paul Gilly. I was like, come in and explain this one.
Have fun.
LSU fans taking it well. It's fine. It's all
it
good.
Didn't matter.
Neither team. No.
I kept waiting for someone to go, it doesn't matter.
Well, that was my favorite part of the night that Tennessee beat. Did Tennessee beat State one night? Is that right?
I don't remember. I think so.
Okay, it's all running together. Tennessee beat someone.
Tennessee and State had words.
Oh, they had the kerfuffle.
Yeah,
it was that night. It was after. It's my favorite Tennessee thing is every time they get done, they look up and go, "We're just minding our own business, and they won't leave us alone." And it's like, shut up! Like I've gotten to the point where he makes me laugh now, though, where I kind of like him because I just get I get cracked up.
Same.
Because during the press conference, he's like, well, I mean, he's like, I don't know. We were sitting there and they just started chirping at me. And I'm like, oh, Tony, shut up.
Yeah. I mean, they called me Tony. What do you want me to do? Yeah. Well, they used my name.
But after the game, his back and forth with, I guess it was Tom Hart, whoever it was for the SEC Network. And Tom was needing him to do the SEC tournament really matters who you pitching tomorrow. And every time Tony gave an answer, he's going, guys, I'm getting ready for next week. Like, I know we got to throw somebody tomorrow, but I'm not really worried about this. Like he's like, I know it matters, but that's not where our whatever is. Yeah, and they come out and go, yeah. But you really want to get the trophy, right? And Tony's like, we love the SEC.
Yeah.
We love you guys. we just weren't going to extend him today, though. Weren't going to extend him. Weren't going to do anything that got a little carried away for next week. Okay. There's a bigger trophy next week. We're worried about that.
The one that was funny was the Thursday morning Arkansas-Kentucky game was hilarious because you could tell both coaches were like, how do I lose this without looking like I'm trying to lose it? How do I figure this out?
How do I go home?
Yeah, and they were like, why are they taking Hagen Smith out? I'm like, why do they even pitch him in the first place? I mean, what are you thinking? It's like, no, he was never going to throw more than like 30 pitches. I mean,
you've had coaches tell starters, don't even bring your spikes to the park because I don't want to be tempted.
Yes.
Take it out of my hands because I know I'm going to get competitive in like the 7th inning. So wear your tennis shoes to the game today and leave your cleats at home.
I've heard coaches say to their pitching coaches, look, I know he's got a bullpen. Do the bullpen, and then I don't care if you send him back to the hotel.
Yeah, don't put him in my eye line.
Yeah, get him away from me.
I mean, I don't hate it. Quickly, and I'll get to a couple of the. I told Neal this before we started the show. I'm not even ducking the revenue sharing thing. I'm going to hit it in the next segment before we close. But I feel like we're in a weird spot where we need it to hash a little. Everybody's got really hyperbolic statements on all directions right now.
Yeah.
And we're just sort of in a big mushroom cloud. I'm kind of letting it settle for a second for the most part.
About
is where
half
I
of
am
10
here.
thoughts is about revenue sharing and all of it. I've got a lot of questions coming out of a lot of the stuff that's been written and done. And then I think there is, I mean, I'll save it for the next segment, but they're still seeking congressional assistance in an election year.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting it. It's not happening.
No.
Okay, so that's a problem. And then this is a thing where I think, and I'm not criticizing fans here at all, because sports are emotional. College sports are very emotional. And so there's a lot of people that hear a Sankey talk and they go, well, he hates my school or he favors. You got to put some of that away for a minute and listen to him. This thing, yes, there's a settlement. It's a lot of money. They still haven't figured out the Title IX piece. That's terrifying. That could go to court and just destroy the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they still haven't figured out, well, what do you do? Okay, so we've negotiated this settlement with past players. What do you do about current and future players?
Because they have a plan in place, but no one's collectively bargained it. They're just saying, this is what we're going to give you.
So,
cool?
Yeah, and what happens when they go, no, it's not cool? And you haven't fixed the transfer thing?
It's simply a initial start is all it is.
Haven't touched the transfer rule. Here's the thing, and I'll say this fast. We'll let this tease into the next segment. It's where they have to be really careful, Chase. They really do. They have to be careful here. The diehard fan, most of you who are in our stream right now, this doesn't apply to you. You're there. You love it. It's not, none of this is a criticism, by the way. Not at all. You love it. You pretty much are with it thick or thin. Good or bad. You overlook the warts. At some point, Chase, when you keep adding cost to this, the costs are going to be defrayed to the fan.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, you price out the casual fan. And you can't live in college sports without the casual fan. Won't work. If all the casual fans were diehard fans, you and I would be super rich. You price out the casual fan or turn off the casual fan, you're playing with fire. And then when you make something that is built around tradition and nostalgia and those things, and you make it a pro sport, people naturally start comparing pro sports to one another, and they'll typically go with the best pro sport. And in college football, you don't want to be directly compared to the NFL.
No.
Because the casual fan is going to find, and look at the ratings, this bears out. The casual fan is going to like the NFL over college football if you make them just two pro sports competing against one another.
The separation is paramount and vital and necessary completely.
Yes.
That's it. You cannot cross wherever that line is, you can't cross it. You're not there yet, but you're steamrolling toward it.
Fast. And so
where everybody just looks, and frankly, look, it's a human nature society thing. Everybody just looks greedy and ill-prepared and me, and that is just simply a turn-off to society. There's that. It's that, my God, just it's not shut up and dribble. It's we don't feel, there's no warm and fuzzies here.
No. And it's a industry that's built around warm and fuzzy.
It's all about warm and fuzzies.
It is.
And when this is just a tipping point, and I have people in high-level spots that call me and go, hey, are they going to have to cut the golf teams in 2 years? And it's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
I'm make tennis, golf, whatever. I'm just
pick your sport, but yeah, whatever.
Like,
sure. The answer is yes.
I mean, I don't think they're there today, but
heading there.
I mean, that would be somewhere in your guide to how to manage it.
Sure. Well, if you're at Missouri, why are you playing baseball? I mean, if I'm in the room, I'm like, well, why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. So,
I mean, for what? The settlement hasn't touched Title IX.
I know.
Hasn't addressed it. And they're still looking to Congress for help.
Well, they're counting on the Title IX interpretation of opportunity doesn't equal result. That the sports have the opportunity to have it. That doesn't mean you have to supply it.
This is where.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll say this, then we'll go to the break. This is where when people do I don't know why you guys keep mixing politics. Well, politicians appoint judges.
Oh, where these cases are held is a huge part of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why do you think they were so eager to settle this case, despite the fact that it is a crunching blow to athletic departments? It's because it's based in California. They were terrified of a jury coming back with a verdict that could have absolutely put them out of business.
Everything, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, all right, continuing in 1 second. First, any Spark service people across rural communities 2 packages: the Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze. That's their 1 gig option, their fastest option. Your hometown team, we're in your world-class broadband. That's AnySpark.com, 662-238-3159. Phone service, parental controls, network security, wireless mesh extender for anyone who needs the extra help, and more. So call the office, 662-238-3159.
Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com. Are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Either way, Andy Ludicky can help. He's a longtime Rivals board member, diehard college football fan, franchise veteran. He owns multiple franchises and businesses, uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy. Put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. It's myperfectfranchise.net, Andy at myperfectfranchise.net, or you can call us cell 404-973-9901. Southern Traditions Farm is a 68-acre, 32-stall upscale equestrian training and boarding facility in Canton, Mississippi. 2 sand rings, a grass ring, miles of wooded trails. A lot offered at Southern Traditions, including horseback riding offerings from beginner lessons to advanced, to competing in nationally recognized competitions. It's also a great venue for events, corporate outings, and such. So get in touch with them on Facebook or Instagram at Southern Traditions Farm. I'll have a mailbag probably late tomorrow. It's brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's International Realty and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art Hayes can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email him at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com.
Angel Hernandez retiring abruptly. I know everyone's incredibly sad over this development in Major League Baseball. If you want to geek out a little on some baseball analytics, see the story on Gunnar Henderson?
I did not.
So his chase for 50 home runs and what makes him special and whatnot. I've never seen this actually measured before. I don't know if you can do it at the college level or not. I mean, they have TrackMan and stuff, so maybe you can. Breaking down Henderson's bat speed by swing length and pitch group. That what makes Gunnar Henderson so good offensively, and I'm sure a lot of other really good offensive players, but it's not measured the same way as that I've seen, is the ability to keep up your bat speed no matter how long your swing is. So when you shorten or lengthen, it doesn't change your productivity.
Right.
Gunnar Henderson on fastballs has a 75.3 mile an hour bat speed, and his swing length is 6.9 feet. Okay. 75.3, 6.9. Breaking balls, he has a 75.7 mile an hour bat speed, meaning exactly the same, 7.6 feet on swing length on breaking balls. On off-speed pitches, they're differentiating them, change whatever. 76.2, his fastest bat speed at 7.8 feet. He goes longer. So he is not only recognizing the pitch in enough time to hit it, he's recognizing the pitch type with time to lengthen and shorten his swing correspondingly and keep bat speed up at its normal production. We are not all the same.
No.
That is, you have to look at that and think about that for a second, but that is an incredible stat. That is, I mean, I'm kind of like giddy right now and just looking at that. That's phenomenal.
To be able, and it tells you that he's completely dialed in on what he's seeing out of the pitcher's hand.
Just when tunneling is so good and everything, and that's what he's doing. It's remarkable, it really is. I mean,
Orioles 34-18, game and a half back of the Yankees in the AL East.
They're fun.
Way ahead of everybody else. Boston's 9.5 back. Tampa's 10.5 back. Jays 12 back.
Oh, really?
So an Orioles Yankees push should be a lot of fun.
You're for the Orioles?
Yeah. I love watching them play. They're fun. Maybe the most fun young team to watch. Kansas City's kind of fun, but yeah, they're there.
Dellinger has a news story this morning. He led with the head of the Walker Jones for Georgia, was his lead person this morning. He'd met him in Athens prior to driving over to, are they in Miramar? Is that where the meetings are this year? Destin area. Yeah. The Panhandle, if you will.
Yeah.
Somewhere there, discussing all the things we're talking about of there's just no answers to anything. It was the Georgia guy going, well, but what about this? Because, I mean, they keep bringing up this fair market value term. What's fair market to one person could be completely different to anyone else, even in actuality. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
I mean, Chase, it's the most frustrating part of this to me. It's why
this isn't a national fair market thing.
This is Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Every day. We do this every day. I mean, they're having these meetings, and at some point, Sankey's just going to go to the beach, enjoy your family. We're not solving this today. It's okay. Gunnar Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
We use him as an example. I don't know what he's making. He's underpaid. But he knows, because it's a deal that's been collectively agreed to by the Major League Baseball Players Association with the owners, okay, that he's arbitration eligible here in a year or two, probably, maybe next year. The Orioles will have to make him a competitive offer, or he can go to arbitration. And at some point, 6 years in, he becomes a free agent. The Orioles can try to supersede that by offering him a deal that buys some of his free agent seasons to give him more now than he would make if they just stuck to scale.
Yeah.
So if you're the Orioles and you're like, okay, how do we put a valuation on what Gunnar Henderson is worth to our team? All right, he's a top 6 hitter. Here's what the top 6 hitters make.
Sure.
So there's sort of your starting point.
Sure.
There's a way to get there, right? I mean, if you're trying to figure out what is Dansby Swanson worth, there's a way to do it. Take the average of the top 10 shortstops. Here's what they make. Here's blah, blah, blah. How do you do that at the college level right now?
You could, I mean, you gotta squint and make it blurry as hell. You could kind of do it at the conference level, but beyond that, it's impossible completely.
Yeah. So,
but you could kind of compare Jackson Dart to Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers and get a number.
Sure.
But how does the dude at Coastal Carolina compare? I don't know.
But how do you get a kid to go, okay, yeah, that's my fair market value? You can't. Well, you can convince Gunnar Henderson, well, hey, he could go, this is bullshit. And might be right, but this is a deal that was agreed to.
Mm-hmm.
It's got length and term on it. Everything is understood.
Mm-hmm.
It was negotiated at the negotiating table with the players having the ability to strike and the owners having the ability to lock out. You don't have that. It's why I thought it was interesting when Sankey said that yesterday about he didn't ever run into players who said, hey, I want to be an athlete. I mean, an employee. No,
And I would have liked for him to give 2 more sentences explaining, but there are a lot of tax differences between being a W-2 employee and a 1099 employee. Completely different in a ton of ways.
Yeah. And he probably is going into that because I think he spoke for like an hour yesterday, and he's going to speak all week, and you're going to get a lot of stuff, but people are frustrated with it. Chase, it just was never the design was never meant to be professional.
No,
you
made a point. You said this on the message board yesterday. Was you have players, not kids. You have players who are getting an amount of NIL, having their taxes taken out on the front end, but then you have to pay them enough total to cover that amount because they want a gross amount to be net, not the other way around. Or even going, hey, well, just pay me under the table this amount, so then I pay the taxes, and that doesn't come out of
exactly what's happening. They're hitting up the boosters with, well, give me this without telling anybody
because that covers this percentage. Yes.
And if you don't, I'm going to get pissy and I'm going to transfer again.
Yeah.
Because somebody else is making that promise and then they don't deliver it because there's no transparency. Look at the Rashada thing. Hell, he's presenting a contract and Florida's like, no, that's not what we agreed to. Well, it's in writing.
Is he going to potentially give them a reason to fire Napier before?
No, potentially, sure. But if I'm them, I got to know what else did my collective agree to?
Yeah, sure. Of course. Look at this in a little more detail tomorrow. We've got a full week to kill, or at least a couple more days. 2 more days. Then we'll have Jeffrey on Thursday. Or I will, or whatever we'll do. Should you put a Hundy spot on Tennessee at plus 600 to win the title?
Sure.
A&M at plus 500. They're actually the favorite in Vegas.
I don't hate them. I mean, you and I've talked about this for a couple of months.
Though, plus 500.
You don't get a lot of value right there.
LSU's the number 4 highest thing, plus 1,000. Arkansas's plus 1,000.
I don't think Arkansas can win it. I don't think they hit enough. LSU.
If you told me LSU or Arkansas, I would pick LSU.
I would pick LSU, but if you tell me LSU wins it, I go, okay, well.
It has to look exactly like Ole Miss. They have to have 2 starters to just go win every game.
I got to go, okay, well, Gage Jump and Luke Holman are perfect the rest of the way.
Yeah. They're just carrying this.
And you're asking for a lot at that point.
Yeah.
Because, like, Arkansas has more pitching depth than LSU has.
Kentucky plus 1,000?
No.
Wake at plus 1,200? They got to go through Tennessee.
No.
Clemson, Oregon State, North Carolina.
I'd take a flyer on Clemson.
Just because of the value, I don't hate 50 on Florida State at plus 1,800.
No, I don't hate that.
That's not bad value right there.
Not bad.
And then from there, I just don't see anybody that really sticks out. Virginia, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, NC State, Florida, and East Carolina, Arizona, Oklahoma State, Alabama, Texas.
What are my Mississippi State odds?
4,500.
That wouldn't be the worst. $50.
See if you get a little 45 to 1 action on that.
Well, they have some pitching. I don't hate their draw. And
they play defense.
And once you get to Omaha, you're just one of 8.
Yeah. No, getting there is the goal. Then we just play a tournament and see what happens.
Because you just win one game, and all of a sudden you're a game away from. I mean, it's
stuff gets funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate I think they're going to beat Virginia, and I think they beat Arkansas.
Okay.
I do think Arkansas gets out of their regional. Like, they got a pretty good draw.
Yeah.
Who's their 2? Louisiana Tech?
They're 2 or 3. I don't remember which one, but yeah, that is correct. I know they're in it. Let's see. Arkansas. Yeah. La Tech's the 2, K-State's the 3.
Okay.
So they got probably the weakest 3, and then La Tech is their 2.
Yeah.
Good draw.
Tech's solid, but they typically Tech's the kind of team that could win a game or 2, and then they don't have the pitching to get you even out of the Monday.
Mm-hmm. Well, like Southern Miss in 21 when Ole Miss beat them on that Monday.
Yeah.
Just ran out of pitching.
Ran out of stuff,
Yeah. So, all right, we'll cover more of this tomorrow on Wednesday. We'll see what's said at the SEC meetings, and we'll go from there with any news moving forward. RebelGrove.com. In the meantime, appreciate everybody coming back with us after Memorial Day. We'll talk to you again very soon.